much. So to start proceedings today, Seb, don't get too comfortable. I'd like to invite you over. Do you want to come to the podium, or are you happy in your seat over here? Yeah, to start with a few opening remarks. Thank you.
Maggie, thank you. And I have to say that in the last 10 years of this job, there's never been a moment where I felt ultimately that comfortable. But I'm very, very comfortable to be here today. And let me thank Christian and Vincent for their very warm words of welcome. Christian, thank you. We recognise the work that goes on behind the scenes. None of these championships are ever the evidence of it'll be all right on the night or a happy accident. We know your teams are dedicated. And Vincent, thank you also for your warm words of welcome and your observation that this is one of the best cross-country courses in the world. I've only been here 24 hours, but I think most of my colleagues think this is probably the best world cross-country course in the world. So thank you for that. Let me also welcome, we have royalty in the house this morning. We have Paul Turgat, and Craig Virgin will probably not thank me for saying this, but I think Paul is probably our greatest ever cross-country runner. 5 straight World Cross-Country Championships and any number of medals on the track, which goes to show that, yes, folks, you can do cross-country and run track at the same time. And Craig, thank you for being here, because you're the only American male athlete to have ever won a world cross-country title. So thank you for being here. We are blessed to have royalty in the house, and at this moment I'm just going to digress, which normally drains the blood from the face of my communications team, because there are 2 permanent fixtures at World Athletics Cross-Country Championships, well, at least 18 of them, standing. You won't miss them because they've got kilts and very bright yellow shirts. There's David and Neil. This is their 18th World Cross-Country Championship. They've been to every one. They've made themselves known at every one. And our last edition in Serbia, I think I actually managed to help you through the security systems. Serbians weren't used to guys wearing skirts. That was probably one of the lessons that we learned from Serbia, but great to have you here. So look, this is a very, very easy set of thank yous for me. This is the World Cross Country Championships. We're here in Florida, and we recognize that this is a state that has really reached out to us. I'd like to thank my 2 colleagues on the platform. You'll hear from them in a minute. And their buggy driving skills were absolutely supreme yesterday morning, taking us round the course. And I think it's probably safe to say that we are really in the cross-country capital of the United States, if not the world. So thank you for doing everything that you guys have done. As Christian quite rightly pointed out, there's been a break of some 30 years since we had a World Cross Country Championships here. We've had 3 editions. This is the 3rd edition, 1984 and 1992. I was at the 1992 World Cross Country Championships in Boston when a young fledgling junior athlete by the name of Paula Radcliffe won the junior title. And look, cross-country is one of the core pillars of our sport. For those of you who have known me for probably longer than you would want to have known me, I've been banging on about cross-country. I joined the council, World Athletics Council in 2003 in Paris at the World Championships. I'm delighted to see John Gracia here from the French Federation. And from that moment, I've been pushing the course and the cause of cross-country. It's an inseparable part of the journey that distance and endurance athletes make, whether they're on the track or on the cross-country. I'm surrounded by 3 athletes here, and I'm really grateful, guys, for that you've taken the time to be with us this morning. You are living testimony to the ability to do cross-country and compete. at the very highest level. And I think in Paul and in Craig Virgin, we've certainly got an example of that. Most of the championships and champions from 800 through to the marathon distances have competed in pretty much most editions. So that's a very, very good and important message for our athletes. And look, the local organising committee has really set some extraordinary standards here. From the moment I went to the course yesterday morning, I saw the roller coaster, the sandcastle, the alligator alley, and I do have some experience of that. Thank goodness they were so expertly carved out of tree trunks, because I used to train in southern Florida. I was based in Tampa for large parts of the year when I was competing, and I remember very early one morning doing my usual mileage, early morning mileage on the golf course at southern Florida, just outside Tampa near Busch Gardens, and I was sort of towards the end of the run. Ran past a water feature, and out of the corner of my eye saw something slithering out of the water. My father, who was my coach and fairly analytical chap, started life as a mathematician and ended up as an engineer. I had, as I saw this thing running towards me, the words ringing in my ears that you do know that over 20 or 30 yards an alligator will outrun a man. Well, I took off like Usain Bolt, got to the clubhouse and saw 4 old boys getting ready for their early morning tee off, and they looked at me a bit shocked and said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I've just seen a gator coming out." And they went, "Oh yeah, that happens all the time." So I'm hoping that's not going to happen all the time tomorrow, that you've got the areas well cordoned off. But thank you for also being as creative as you have been on the design of the course. I know that the athletes will enjoy that, and I certainly know the fans who are going to be here in their thousands are going to do that. So look, it really is a sincere thank you to the local organising committee, to US Track and Field, and I know that Max and Renee are either on their way here or somewhere secreted amongst the audience this morning. And it really has been a privilege to work with such an experienced and helpful and collaborative organising committee. So thank you to you two. Thank you on behalf of our teams here, who I know they're not quite on autopilot, but they are really enjoying the experience. This is the first of 6 World Championships we have to put on this year. I see John Ridgen, our CEO, sitting there with the blood draining out of his face at this moment, and I'm equally delighted to be joined by my council and my executive board members who have made the journey to be with you all. So thank you to our local dignitaries. Thank you for the funding, which I know is really, really important. And thank you to Tallahassee for being such gracious hosts. We look forward to tomorrow's competition, and I look forward to welcoming many of you tonight to the local organising committee dinner. Thank you.
Thank you, Seb. I'm now going to ask one of the LOC co-chairs, Taylor Wheaton, to kick us off.
Thank you, Maggie and partners.